Today on the Totally Kids Club channel, it's Tick Talk.
Hey gang, I'm Townsend Coleman, also known as the voice of The Tick Spoon! So, without further ado, let's get to it, shall we?
Hello, Dr. Jason Narvy here. I'm going to share some of my favorite Power Ranger moments.
Did you happen to keep any props, costumes, or memorabilia from the show?
Stealing is wrong. I would never do such a thing, and I think that's a horrible example to show our children. The only thing I ever stole was Paul Schrier's heart. And he stole mine. And some props. And some costumes. One of the Rangers' car, he had a problem, that guy. A big problem. Thank God for acting, otherwise, I don't think he'd have any kind of a career.
Which scene was the hardest to shoot?
That's a really good question. I'm going to start it with this. As actors, we finally got to live our dreams. I was a punk. Paulie was a punk. We had each other. We got a motorcycle. It was super cool. And then they had Paulie drive the motorcycle and put me in the sidecar for one take. Because as we went zooming around the corner, he popped the corner, meaning he popped me up on the corner, up like this. I'm looking down at Paulie thinking, I'm going to die and I'm going to take you with me. And after that, Paul Schrier was never allowed to drive the motorcycle again. And every time we used the motorcycle after that was my worst day on the set because Paul just sat there pouting and looking miserable and ruining my good time.
What's one word to describe the Fox Kids era?
Tween. Okay, so here's the cool thing about that era. I think that television for, 40 years leading up to this had been learning how to do children's television. MTV was going hot and heavy at the teen market, okay? I think that Fox Kids was kind of innovative for its time because it took all those little hard to find stories and they put them there in this land that was somewhere between teen and children's. When you look at something like X-Men, for instance, okay, you can't say that that's necessarily a kid's show. But what it did was it took what kids were already liking, kids like me who used to like something like, Voltron, and put them front and center. And it really identified that market. I think also this is a time when children's television was finally understanding what it meant to be diverse. It really plunged into a world of, kind of rock and roll MTV-ness and coolness and all that stuff. And so therefore it said, who do we bring to the table? Who do we really speak to? And it really helped launch, a lot of superheroes and people's superpowers. And by looking at all different types and voices, I think that the Fox Kids era coincidentally helped coincide with this sort of idea of seeing yourself represented up on a screen. And that was important for little kids. It still is.
Tell me what you miss most about that era of television.
I think that television for a while, for all eternity, was most definitely about an event. An event was happening. Power Rangers is on. Everybody ran home from school to go see it. I remember my mom up because she worked the late shift, and I'd say, "Mom, the third cartoon's on. You need to get us to school." Like you actually created your world and life around it. And it was a shared experience. So the next day, everybody could come together and be like, "Oh, dude, did you see that thing?" And it was also cool because if it wasn't there front and center, you might find your own cool little niche somewhere. And that would be your cool thing. You're just a couple little buddies. It's hard to find that now. The way streaming is, there's so much children's content, but there's not like a home base that brings everyone together and allows everyone to kind of share the same vernacular. I kind of miss that.
Which scene was the most fun to film?
Food fight. Because, when someone comes up to you, gives you a pie, and it's like, do you think you can throw this? I think I can. The Wild West Rangers, that was just a blast because we get to be on horses and cowboys. Come on. What's not fun about that? Recently, though, I also loved I think it was Instrument of Destruction. This one was interesting because it kind of marked the first time that Johnny and I did dramatic scenes together, and we continued to do it. But also, there's that great moment at the end with Bulk and Skull as well, where Skull is kind of embarrassed that he's a piano player. And I remember at the time, I was only 19 or 26, 7, and I remember thinking, would a kid really be embarrassed by that? I am kind of shocked as I watch my kids grow up now and they start getting interested in music and piano in particular. I've been shocked how much they kind of keep that a secret. And it's the idea that peer pressure is a different kind of bully. So I love that there is something that I did 35 years ago that kind of still speaks to what's going on now. That's always kind of fun. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Be part of this story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button.